What's causing this leap in money? Is it because for the past few years you haven't been generating the money from streaming that you might have done?
Well, indeed, and a lot of people were streaming but weren't necessarily paying for that. They were doing it legally and it was ad-funded, but I think a lot of people are now shifting to subscriptions, and they're actually subscribing to premium tier services from the likes of Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal. There are many services they can use. And the benefit of that is that it actually delivers more revenues back to labels, publishers, the artists as well, which is great news because then we can invest more in new talent and creating more choice for fans as well, so you get into a virtuous cycle. But I'm glad you picked up on the fact that physical is also still doing quite well, still 300 million that it actually delivered. Not just vinyl, but CD, although it did drop a tenth, a lot of people are still buying it, and we seem to be in what we're calling a multi-channel phase where people typically tend to discover music by streaming services, and there's like 40, 50 million tracks, so it's a wonderful opportunity to do that. When they love something, they'll go out and buy it on vinyl and even CD.
Is that right? So I'll find it on streaming, but if I want to keep it, I still desire a physical copy?
Yes, because you also then get that emotional connection with the artifact, with the physical copy that you can keep and store or gift if that's what you'd like to be able to do. And of course, when you buy vinyl, you've also got the ritual of going to a record store, browsing, and we've got Record Store Day this weekend coming up, and that's one factor, I think, behind the sort of revival of vinyl.
The thing is, Gennaro, if I might buy a CD, I don't think my teenage daughter would do. She might buy an LP because it's quite fashionable, but aren't CDs on a sort of slow
No, they've been
death?
declining, but I mean, if we'd listened to the experts years ago, they would have disappeared from the face of the earth. So they're still there. They still contribute an important part of revenues. Next year, we think it will actually switch the first time to streaming being the larger sort of revenue stream, but they're still an important part of the overall mix.
And Spotify and the likes of that, who's going to win that battle for global domination?
Well, I mean, they're all doing incredibly well. But actually, one thing that is very important is that although we're very happy at this kind of growth and it feels like we're turning a bit of a corner, if we want sustainable long-term growth, there are a number of structural issues that need to be addressed, ideally with the help of government as well. The key one is something that we've been calling the value gap, which describes the huge difference between video streaming platforms, mainly YouTube, in terms of the music usage they get out of it, and at the same time how much they pay back to artists and labels in relatively small terms. And unless we fix that, then we're not going to be able to address the longer term sort of growth. We think we'd have been announcing more than 1 billion income sales today had it not been for the fact that this value gap exists.
Gennaro, it's always good to see you. Gennaro Castaldo from the BPI.